So regarding the solar ventilators, what I see is an absurd situation where we have a lot of poorly designed houses around the place, where people move in and then to try and make it comfortable they whack on this monster grade air conditioner, and they don't think about the thermodynamics of the house. So these things have proven themselves in many situations. Alright, any house, you've got a roof space, the sun's shining on the roof, and basically the heat's radiating down from the roof. So you got your house like this, ceiling, walls in here, the sun's shining down like this. This roof space here gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and then the heat radiates down like this. So most people put a big air conditioning on the side of the house like that, right, blowing cold air in. But even though they're trying to cool down the house, you've still got all the heat radiating down from the hot in the roof. So what we can do is we can ventilate from here, take the heat out, and by not having this heat radiating down, you can either turn off or reduce your air conditioning load. Now, the other place that you'll find is if you've got the afternoon sun running in through the wall, you can find that you'll get heat there too. Alright, so we've got solutions for all of this. If you've got an upstairs and a downstairs, so this is your other floor down here, right, you'll find that with your stairwell, all the heat, well, you still got it radiating down, but anything that is in this room here, the heat will tend to go upstairs. So if you go, has anyone got a double-storey house? No? No? Alright. But you do? Yeah. So you'll know from living in a double-storey house, it's always, once you come up the top of the stairs, you feel this wall of heat will come in. Right? And most people with a double-storey house sleep in the upstairs, and that's where you find it's most uncomfortable, and that's where you want to get rid of the heat so that you can sleep properly. Alright. So upstairs passages and upstairs bedrooms. You ventilate the top, you take the air out of here. Now, depending upon what sort of roof, most roofs these days, or modern ones, they'll have sarking. If it's a tile roof here, they'll have something sealing the roof. If it's a real old roof and you've got tiles there, you'll probably find that the air will find its way in. But if it's sealed, or you've got a tin roof and it's got the insulation underneath of the tin, you'll need to put a vent here so that this can suck the heat out. So, yeah, and here it says reduced heat load on the ceiling because you've got this coming through. If you install this thing and it's running like mad and it's drawing the heat out, you'll still find on the first day that all the ceiling's still hot, all the plaster's still hot, the wood's still hot. So you'll feel a difference straight away, but it's the next day when you'll notice a difference, particularly because right from the morning it'll start drawing the heat out. So the roof space doesn't get the opportunity to get hot to have to cool it down, it just stays cool. You've got an adjustable solar panel. So once you get a certain amount of voltage on your solar panel, the fan will start going. The more sunlight you get, the faster the fan goes. Right? So the hotter the day, the more sunlight and the faster the fan, so you extract more heat out. This one here, as I said, this is the little one, it's 900 cubic metres per hour. Yeah, and they go up to 1400, 2100 and 3000. So this one here is like around about 6 whirlybirds, right? And the other ones go up to like about 20 whirlybirds, right, for the one thing. It'll depend a little bit on the wind condition, what your whirlybird does, but these things are really positive. Run up and move it out. But here, just remove one tile. Right? I normally go as high up the roof as I possibly can for it, but don't touch the top row because you'll break all the pointing. And usually the second row, if you try and move that, you'll break the pointing too. So I normally select the third row. For most of these, this being the smallest one, you only need one tile. That's the size of one tile, right? But the next sizes up, they're bigger. But again, if you take one tile, the hole will be, it'll cover over slightly, but it'll also be longer. So you've got enough area for enough air volume to come through. So I've seen these where people have taken 2 or more tiles out or cut the tiles with the angle grinder, but you really don't need to do that. Yeah, fairly easily done. With the tile roof, I didn't bring the piece, but there's a little metal strip that attaches to a batten or a rafter. It just comes up, and then you fold it over this to hold it in place. And then under the tile, you need your silicone and pack it out, and at the bottom the same, and at the sides just silicone to the sides, and just knock it with a plastic hammer or the rubber mallet just to shape it. So it's just the 2 little clips that hold it in place, right? But when the silicone sets and dries, then it's glued down top and bottom both sides, so it's not going to move. First thing in the morning, when the roof's cold, it won't work. But as the roof warms up, it'll work. Right? In the middle of winter time, when you want to retain the heat in the house to keep the whole house warm, it won't go if you've turned the thermostat, to say 30 or more. So it's only when the roof temperature warms up it'll work. And it just gives you an extra degree of control. You can actually adjust the thing if you want, to whatever temperature you want. I normally set the night up on the 30. Fits on there, you push it up and you can close it off. So in the winter time when you don't want the heat to leave the room, you can do that. So you wonder, how do I manage to get up and do that? Well, you put this on the end of a broom handle, right? Just push it up and twist it.